How quitting caffeine and being bored as fuck will change your life.
You know what time it is? It's mime time.
Hi everyone, this is Mime Time, a show where we talk about overcoming identity struggle for the Asian diaspora. But this will be more of a self-development focused episode. I'm talking about how I'm doing a caffeine/digital detox to significantly improve my quality of life and share that it might be good for you too, something for you to consider. In the past, I've had episodes where I talk about taking breaks from alcohol for 30 days, even 90 days. This was especially important because in those days back in Korea, I was working as a party promoter at the club and going out all the time to bars and clubs, being very socially active. The essential point is you don't need an external substance to be social or to be yourself. You don't need to depend upon alcohol or build your personality around alcohol or any substance for that matter, including caffeine, the final boss. If you're going to drink coffee or, say, smoke cigarettes, like you shouldn't smoke cigarettes because it's terrible for you. But if you do, and you're not going to quit anyways, you might as well appreciate the benefits of taking a break from time to time. I guess you could call this harm reduction. So I've been off caffeine for 3 weeks now. This isn't my first time taking a caffeine detox either, but it's sure been rough. After about the first week, I finally felt like a human again and functioning decently somewhat. I think coffee or caffeine has actually turned most of modern humanity into socially acceptable crack fiends. It's pretty crazy to realize, but that's really what it is. You can argue with me otherwise. Like, hey friend, do you want to talk about life over a cup of a psychoactive substance that will significantly impact you emotionally and mentally? It's really crazy if you think about it. Between alcohol and caffeine, I built this personality in my 20s as a club promoting freelancer, as this kind of super socially active, energetic, and confident person. Like, I have all this energy and reduced inhibition, so I'm more comfortable talking to strangers or getting stuff done because I'm a hustler, baby. I'm a hustler. I'm a productive, competent, fun-loving, energetic adventurer. And caffeine and alcohol fuel this mental energy out from my mind and behavior out into the world. But really, if you do some research, those things just take away from what you already have. Like, coffee doesn't actually give you energy. It just makes you not feel tired. And you can watch videos about this. You can do research with like alcohol and caffeine. It just takes away what you already have and it borrows from the future. You don't need them to be yourself. If you do feel like you need them, if you feel like you can't be yourself or function without a cup of coffee or a drink, that means your body and brain are screaming for you for real rest and sleep, and you're just continually papering over the cracks of fatigue day in and day out. Find a time in your life and make a plan to at least take a break, guys, and then revisit it after if you still want to stay clean or go back to it. In addition to taking a break from coffee, I've been significantly reducing my time habitually consuming YouTube content, doom scrolling, listening to podcasts or music. I've been shooting to reduce my time doing all that by 80%. But realistically, it's probably only 40-50%. So during the week, while I drive, while I go to the bathroom, while I go work out, while I sit down and eat a meal, I'm trying not to listen or watch any content on my phone. I put the phone down. I still do, but I reduce it. And then I allow myself to indulge in whatever on the weekends. I'm talking about anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour just focusing on the task at hand or being deep in thought about my life because I'm bored. Try doing an intense physical workout in the morning when you're experiencing severe symptoms of withdrawal, including fatigue, brain fog, mild headaches, without music or YouTube to entertain and distract you. Try working out without your headphones, without listening to something. We're running a few miles, working up a sweat, just getting through it. It's a form of discipline. How weak we've become as moderns. Oh, I gotta have my earbuds. Oh, I came to the gym but left my earbuds at home. Oh no. I'm walking on the street and waiting on a stoplight for 15 seconds. I gotta listen to a podcast or entertain myself with some stupid short form content. Like, I can't be bored for more than 10 seconds. Guys, how pathetic are we? We are super pathetic. We should really be ashamed of ourselves. Come on, guys. I don't want to say it, but being bored or stillness is essential. The answer is boring. The answer to a lot of things in life is maybe it's just boredom. You just got to sit down and do your homework. You got to be fucking bored from time to time. Because ultimately, the answer to one's life have to come from within, and you can't do that if you're always distracting yourself. And I'm just going to be repeating myself this whole episode. I will quote you, my dear friends, a passage from my favorite essay, Self-Reliance, published in 1841 by the great American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. It goes, insist on yourself, never imitate. Your own gift you can present every moment with the cumulative force of a whole life's cultivation. But of the adopted talent of another, you have only an extemporaneous half possession. That which each can do best, none but his maker can teach him. No man yet knows what it is, nor can, till that person has exhibited it. Where is the master who could have taught Shakespeare? Where is the master who could have instructed Franklin, or Washington, or Bacon, or Newton? Every great man is unique. The Scipianism of Scipio is precisely that part he could not borrow. Shakespeare will never be made by the study of Shakespeare. Do that which is assigned you, and you cannot hope too much or dare too much. There is at this moment for you an utterance brave and grand as that of the colossal chisel of Phidias, or trowel of the Egyptians, or the pen of Moses, or Dante, but different from all these. Not possibly will the soul, all rich, all eloquent, with thousand cloven tongue, deign to repeat itself. But if you can hear what these patriarchs say, surely you can reply to them in the same pitch of voice, for the ear and the tongue are two organs of one nature. Abide in the simple and noble regions of thy life, obey thy heart, and thou shalt reproduce the foreworld again. I love this passage. I've quoted this passage from Self-Reliance multiple times on this podcast. The thousand cloven tongue, as Ralph Waldo Emerson says, lies deep within. You can't have that thousand cloven tongue speak from within if you're constantly having 1,000 external voices of social media and other forms of content always shoved into your ears. Thou cannot reproduce the foreworld again if you're always doom scrolling. And ironically, / hypocritically, I will be sharing links to external sources, YouTube videos about quitting caffeine and being bored. But I hope you get my point. You need to be still. You need to be bored to go within and be self-reliant. And obviously, I love long-form content like audiobooks, podcasts, and even books that you read. I have a podcast. I'm sharing ideas with you right now. All this stuff about self-development, psychology, spirituality, productivity, business, whatever. Atomic Habits, you should be consuming a lot of content, reading a lot of books and so on. It's good for your mind and soul. You should be learning, studying, and thinking about these things. But the problem is that it can easily become a distraction and ultimately a form of subconscious procrastination. You're doped up on caffeine, thinking you're productive or enriching yourself with knowledge. But are you really getting that thing done? Starting the business, working on your creative endeavor, doing the podcast, doing the thing. I have to ask myself, am I doing the thing? Am I doing mime time? No, I'm not doing mime time. I'm just doom scrolling or, watching the news or news video clips about things that I think are important or, just learning interesting facts about the universe or science or whatever. But I'm just procrastinating from doing something that I think is important, which is this podcast. There's a fantastic video you should watch. It's called You Need to Be Bored, Here's Why. And in it, this Harvard professor, Arthur C. Brooks, says, aim for 15 plus minutes of boredom and watch your life change. And that's what I'm doing. I have the link to that video in the description of this episode. So if you guys want to pretend to be productive and procrastinate from doing the thing that you're doing, that you need to be doing, then, check out some more content that I'm linking to in the description episode. And hopefully it will actually get you to think, oh, you know what? I should stop consuming all this content and actually do stuff and make moves. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. I have to make time to sit still, listen to the voice within, and just work on my life. And one, it's just practical. It's what do I have to do today? What's going on at the office? What's going on at work? What's going on at home with my family? Is everyone okay? Am I okay? What do I have to do tomorrow, this week? What's going on in my life? What am I missing? What am I not seeing? What mistakes do I keep making? How do I improve in my performance at work or performing my duties? Where am I and do I like where I am? And if not, how do I change my situation? How do I change myself? How do I live my best life possible? 2, you can't be performing your best if you're not using your brain power and attention to focus on matters of every aspect of your life. This is going to be obvious to those of you who have all your shit together, but if you don't, this is what you need to hear. You need to be bored. To do more thinking about the most important things in your life, like the meaning and purpose of your life. You need to not let yourself be distracted and just focus on what needs to be done or on what needs to be addressed in your life. Everything from financial debt, your problems, your relationships, past trauma, where your life is heading, all that stuff, guys, you just need to stop procrastinating. I guess you could also call this episode or this topic to stop procrastinating. But more specifically, it's how caffeine and digital consumption, doom scrolling, just mindless consumption of content, always using your phone, prevents you from doing what you need to do. You procrastinate and you use those things as an excuse. And really, guys, it's everyone's problem. When you're hopped up on caffeine, underslept, not really rested, not really energetic, and drowning your mind in entertainment or content, even if it is good content, you're not applying it. It just becomes excess data that your mind isn't even processing or putting to use. It's excess digital mental fat taking up storage space in your brain processor mind. You're trying to cram 100 gigabytes of program applications, activities into 8 gigabytes of RAM. Guys, we are putting our heads in the fucking sand. All of us are. Everyone's doing it. Okay? If you have all your shit together and you're absolutely crushing in life, then you could just doom scroll all day. You could just, you could do whatever you want. But if you're not, if you don't like where you are in life, then you have to cut out the fat. You have to stop doing the things that aren't helping you. That's really what we're doing. We're putting our heads in the fucking sand, and I hate to say it. I've done it way too long for way too many periods of my life, and you just got to cut out the noise and focus on what matters until you make progress and then keep going. So when I'm driving, commuting to work, I'm trying not to listen to anything. And on the road, I just think about what's in my mind. I mean, you can't help. I'm just with my thoughts in my mind, and stuff comes out. Like sometimes I just say out loud, I have everything I need. I lack for nothing. My value was established by God before I was born. I don't need to be chasing validation. I don't need to wish I was somewhere else doing something else. I don't need to fall into a trap of comparing myself to my awesome friends on Instagram who are posting stories of doing awesome, incredible stuff I wish I was doing. It's human, it's understandable, but it doesn't help anybody to dwell on it. No, it's an opportunity for me to practice gratitude and humility. And that's the only way I can win in this moment. I'm grateful now for what I have because I have everything that I need materially and spiritually. Humility and gratitude give me all the strength I need to become the best version of myself. All the good things I desire for can still come to me. In the meantime, I must learn patience and all the lessons necessary until then, right? These are the thoughts that I'm having in my mind. Now, I'm not saying these things dramatically necessarily. Sometimes I talk to myself out loud and sometimes it's silent, right? And I'm just driving and focusing on the road and, trying not to get into a car accident. But I need to have these moments when I'm just talking to myself, trying to be real with myself. I need to be comfortable being alone. If there are problems or if I'm depressed inside, I need to let them arise from my subconscious and work it out. Not just pretend things are okay and put on another YouTube video and pretend everything's normal if it's not. The answers are within if I just listen. So again, self-reliance. Don't need caffeine. Don't need anything external. No external substance or validation or anything. I just need to go within. Don't need stimulation. I don't need ChatGPT to help me write an entire episode. Holy crap, I'm writing this whole episode without ChatGPT or caffeine. Believe it or not, there was a world before ChatGPT, guys, and I was writing all these things down from my brain. I was just rambling on stream of consciousness, right, through my fingertips, right, onto the word processor. And yes, I like all these things. I like caffeine and stimulation and ChatGPT. I'm human too. These are great tools, but we become so dependent on them too easily. I'm not saying I won't use them or enjoy them again later, and I use ChatGPT all the time. But if they're not helping me, maybe I need to take a break, or I got to cut them out, or I got to try something different for a while. You can read 1,000 books, listen to 1,000 hours of content on whatever topic, but in the end, what matters is the actions you take to become the person you want to be. You can watch 100 videos on how to do push-ups, but at some point, you just gotta do the freaking push-ups. You gotta do 100 push-ups instead of watching 100 videos on how to do push-ups. You just gotta take action. That's what matters. You feel so passionately about some political or philosophical issue you see in the world, well then do something about it. Don't just lie in bed and doom scroll and consume hours of content from channel after channel that just reinforces what you already believe, which is what I do. If what you believe is of value or is true, is in line with the truth, then, and if it's noble, then you should take action or maybe just take a break or just realize it's just mental masturbation. You're not going anywhere with it. Because right now, my life is really full. I got a lot going on between a full-time job, filial duties, household duties, and my hobbies, including trying to fit in this podcast for even just one episode a month, and hobbies including working out and getting fit and stuff. I'm really just trying to figure out where my life is going and what I should be doing for the rest of my life. And I doubt I can actually find the answers if I'm not taking the many moments of time necessary just to sit with my own freaking thoughts and see what comes up from the depths of my soul to the surface of my conscious mind. And when I do figure it out, I should be performing at my best cognitively, mentally, physically, not constantly giving into habits of self-indulgence and the dopamine hits from digital distractions, but diligent daily disciplined focus on what matters the most and what gives me the most leverage in any given situation. Easier said than done. It's just easy after a long day to just sit in bed and doom scroll for 30 minutes or an hour. And I'm not saying I'm not doing that, but all the more reason to tell myself during the day, time to put the phone down. And if I'm sitting on the toilet, just be sitting on the toilet and think about what I need to do for the day, the issues in my life, and constantly think about why things are the way they are, what's within my control, and how I can make a difference. All those minutes compound. The sooner I realize that, the sooner I realize I only have so many years left, the sooner I do the things that will take me to the place I want to be in life. Do you really want to spend an average of X many hours a day looking back at your life, consuming content mindlessly, not putting it to use if it's good content, when you could have used so much of that time toward a meaningful endeavor had you just learned to focus? Family, brothers, sisters, you have everything you need deep inside. If you have a brain, use it. Just think about your problems. Think about your life. Stop the music. Stop watching videos on your phone. Take a break at least. Focus on what's right in front of you and focus on what's ahead of you. It'll change your life the way it's changing my life now. And going back to the central theme of this podcast, which is about overcoming identity struggle as some Asian diaspora third culture kid and coming to peace, acceptance, love, and joy for who you are as a human being. You won't make progress if you're not having the internal discussion and seeking answers within. Basically, TLDR for this whole episode, external stimulant, caffeine, and endless doom scrolling bad. Cut these down so you can live your best life and do what matters. Think about and do what matters. Thank you so much for listening and talk to you soon. Now, I'm going to take a nap because I think I'm still recovering from sleep debt according to caffeine, due to the caffeine, and maybe doom scroll a cheeky bit because it's the weekend. So whoever's listening, I wish you the best and hope you find your way. And fuck it, I love you too. Goodbye.